Do you know the difference between user interface design and user experience design? Do you find it confusing? Are you struggling to really understand what is it? Then stick with me. I will make you famous. I will take you places to see different faces. I'm Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Coded Design, where I teach user interface and coding. So in this video, I'm just going to get into a deep dive of clearly explaining with practical work, and also in this video I will be redesigning YouTube's mobile UI. There are some things that I don't like about the user interface, so in this video I will be redesigning it with you. Mainly I will be dealing with the user experience, separating it from the user interface, because I will be doing both at the same time. Obviously UI UX, I think it's something that most people get it confused, and some people do that intentionally. More especially here in the YouTube community, you'll find someone maybe trying to create something like this, and then in their YouTube video they will have UA/UX, and obviously my question is always where is the user experience in designing a user interface? So in this video I'm going to get to a deep dive. Practically we are going to get into Figma, and we are going to talk about UX concept using YouTube as a practical example. So without wasting time, let's just jump straight into it. In order for me to really explain to you the user experience, differentiating it from UI design, let's just start from the fundamentals. Let's just define these two things so that when I'm explaining, I can explain from the definition. Let's start from here. User experience focuses on having a deep understanding of users. That's the first point. It has got nothing to do with computer and the graphic design software. Users, what they need. Number two, the need for users, what they value, the value for users, their abilities, users, and also their limitation, users. Let's just end there for now. I think this description is very clear and straight to the point, and it doesn't need some sort of an over explanation, because if I can do that, then I will confuse you. As you can see, user experience has got something to do with users, something that most YouTubers or user interface designers don't really talk about in their videos. Obviously they are designing very beautiful user interfaces, but the problem is in their videos they always write / user experience, and I used to find that challenging, hence I decided to do this video. So as you can see, this is simple basic stuff. It's not rocket science. It's something that you understand. UX, users, simple. And then sorry, and then what is a user interface design? Let's just read this small description. User interface UI design is the process designers use. Number one, it's a process that designers use to build interfaces in software or computerized devices. As you can see, UI design is more of a process. It has got something to do with the computer. And user experience, it's more like a research or a quest for knowledge. What that knowledge is, the knowledge about the user. I think this is very clear, and in my explanation I will be touch based on this definition, and that's it. But now let me jump straight to Figma practically, and let's get our hands dirty with user experience and design. So what I'm going to do now, this is some sort of a layout that I did for YouTube. So the first part is going to be more like the talking part of it, and in the talking part, please, I want you to have your mind ready to some sort of see or some sort of mine or take out the user experience part of things. And then when I'm designing, then I will be getting into the UI design. So I don't want to say when I'm dealing with the user experience and then I also mix it up with user interface design. So now let's just talk. So before we talk, I'm here on Figma. Figma, it's an online graphic design application or prototyping tool, right up there with your CorelDRAW, Photoshop, Illustrator, and Adobe XD. So if you want to use Figma is a free software. It comes with a free version of it, and the free version is the one that I'm using. It can do everything. So let's just jump straight to it and create a new frame. Let's just click on the frame, and then we're going to choose mobile. On mobile, let's just choose Android large. Okay, here's Android large. Then I'm going to select both of my pictures and press K so that I can scale them down proportionally. One thing very important to note, now I'm recording on a weekend, and where I'm from, obviously it's not that quiet. It's not a quiet community. We've got guys moving up and down, having fun time. So as soon as I experience an excessive amount of background noise, I will just pause the video until I feel like, okay, I'm ready to continue. That is something that is not within my control. Okay, so let's just jump straight into it. Okay, let's talk about YouTube. Okay, this is the user interface for YouTube on my own Android phone. Okay, I have a problem with this layout. What is the problem? What is my problem with this layout? Number one, it's cluttered. The layout, it's cluttered. So let me just run through let's just do a quick test to see how cluttered it is. How many elements do I see? So let's ignore this part, because this part, it's some sort of the Android phone part, that one, the one that I've covered. So I see an identity, a logo, I see some icon. How many icons? Of which these are design elements. Let me just zoom in a bit. These are design elements. Okay, we've got a logo, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Just on this section, this is a very small section. I'm not sure how many pixel is this area, but we already got 11 design elements. 11 just on this small section alone. Let me just add a stroke just in this section alone. Okay, let me also increase the stroke again. That's it. Okay guys, just in this place alone we've got 11 design element. For me, I have a problem with that. This is visual clutter. Okay, then let's talk about what can I say, some sort of layout principle. As you can see in this list, because here you can some sort of swipe it to the left, this is a list, I think, of categories, video categories. As you can see that this goes straight to the edge. As you can see that it looks like the designer was not aware if the screen ends here. I do understand that it's a list that comes from, let's say, outside the screen, and also when you're swiping to the left it will go to the other edge of the screen. But for me, this is not a good programming sorry, this is not a good designing practice. It's not in design. There is no way that an artwork attaching the edge like becomes acceptable. Well, I'm just a designer from South Africa, working from home as a freelancer, so maybe I'm not that experienced, but in my whole entire design career, both in printing and digital, this has never been a cool idea. Why? Because like it makes the design to be in balance. As you can see, there is a small gap here and the gap is not here. So to me, that's a problem. Now let's move on. Okay, then again we've got let's say this video section. Okay, let's talk about this video section. As you can see that this video section spans from this edge to that edge. Okay, still then I have a problem with that. That's my problem number 2. Then one may ask, what is the problem with that? Okay, if we are talking of the user interface, we are talking of some sort of a computer generated graphic, I can say, but in its nature of being computer generated, it must conform to my to my brain, how it must conform to the rules and laws on how my brain processes information. As I've told you before, this imbalance to me, it's a problem. If I have a gap here and I don't have it here, then I have a problem. That's a problem. So to me, that means the design is not balanced. Okay, now let's talk about this. Okay, in order for me to explain my problem with this, that will mean I will need to zoom out a little bit so that I can show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so that I can show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, okay, this is sorry about that. Let me just take this out. Thank you. I say, so if we look at this bottom bar, I think my things are misbehaving. Okay, if we look at this bottom bar, as you can see that it stretches from this edge to this edge. The reason why it's stretching from this edge to this edge, it symbolizes like some sort of an object that has been anchored. For instance, let's say you are building a house with some logs, or a wooden house. So you know, when you are building a wooden house, you will put some poles, a pole here. Okay, let me put it on a white background. Sorry about that. You will put a pole here and you will put another pole here, and then from then you will take a log or a wooden block, and then you will put it here from this side to this side, and you will put your nails here and here. This seems like an anchored object, meaning that it's being fixed or it's stuck because it's being some sort of held in position by these two nails and this one. The same effect is being achieved by this bottom bar because it spans across from this edge to this edge. It gets that sense of being anchored. Visually, my mind tells me that, whether I'm aware of it or I'm not aware, but that's what is happening. So tell me, if then anything that fills the entire screen feels like it's something that is anchored, and also it's something that is not going to move, what do we say then about a video element that spans, that stretches from this edge to this edge? If maybe there was some sort of a shadow behind this top part, this top bar, so that at least it can give depth as to this part is on top of this one. You know, when you are pushing something underneath the other one and then you see some sort of an illusion of a shadow here, if that was there, and then I was going to be okay. But here it's like if we are talking of priority or hierarchy or stack of things, here I don't establish any hierarchy, I don't establish any stack, or I don't establish any Z position, of which the Z position is not the left, it's not the right, but it's going down. So I don't feel like these are layers that are behind each other. So when I'm looking at this, there is nothing that tells me that this video card or this video section, it's something that I can some sort of push it up and it can scroll. Obviously, when you are using the app, you can test and see that it moves, but based on the way it has been designed, it doesn't show that. That's why I've got a problem with this video element spanning, moving from, scratching from this edge to this edge, exactly the same as the static elements, which is the elements that are anchored, that are not going to move. Okay, talking about elements that are anchored, surprisingly on this YouTube YouTube app, when you are scrolling up, even this search, even this search icon moves up, of which to me that's a bad experience, because it will mean that if I want to search something, if maybe, let's say, as you know, that the YouTube platform has got a lot of videos, let's say I'm like 1,000 videos down, and then I want to search, what must I do? That means I must scroll up, or maybe, let me just quickly check, maybe there is a way where I can just click home, and it's going to maybe go back to maybe to the default, and then I will see I will also see the search items again. But when I'm scrolling, I was expecting this bar to remain on top, but it's not remaining. And remember, what we are discussing here, we are discussing the user experience. I am not talking about the design. As you can see, I'm not talking about the design element. As you can see, my layout that I came up with, it's still far from, like, I'm not talking about it. I will talk about it later. Now, what we are doing here, we are some sort of in the design critic process. But however, this design critic process, it's largely leaning towards the user experience, because these are the things that I'm complaining about that affected my experience. So I hope you are starting to see how the user experience comes about. Okay, or what's going on in the user experience. I'm complaining here as a user, or if I was a user experience designer, I'm talking as a user UX designer, I'm addressing issues that affects the user. Does that conform to this definition? As you can see, we are spot on. We are talking about the user. So I think I'm qualified to name this video UI UX rather than some other people who just call their videos UI UX, whereas they are just designing. They will get into Figma and they will design the user interface. Okay, so let's continue. So we were here, I have a problem with this. Okay, and then this is an advert, it's fine. This is one of the videos that acts as a content. As you can see, it's moving from this edge to this edge. Okay, I think I will need another screen. Okay, I will need another screen where I will see a video, a video with some sort of, with all the description. As you can see here, I'm on incognito mode, so I will need another screen that I'm going to talk about. I think it's going to be the last screen before we get into the solution, what I'm planning to do in order to solve the problem. Okay, so when I'm pressing menu here on Android here, this scrolls up again and it shows this search icon and this bar and everything. But how my approach will be, if this could remain where it is. And as you can see that my interface, my proposed layout is different from theirs, hence, like I'm thinking about that as a solution, that it must not move. I will tell you why my layout is like this, and I will tell you why I believe this is not supposed to move. Maybe for them, because of their layout is like this. As I've told you before, the visual clutter, we've got like almost 10 elements that you see here. As you can see, on my own, I've got 1 2 3, only 3 elements. But when we get into the design, I will explain that in detail. So let me just copy another photo here, a screenshot from my Android phone. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm going to pause the video since I don't want the video to be long unnecessarily. Okay guys, I'm back. It happened that I didn't really pause the video, but that's not a problem. Obviously that didn't affect you because I will edit the video. Okay, let's just jump straight into it. Okay, this is the picture that I have here. Okay. Okay, before I talk about this picture, I want to talk about this icon also. This is to me this looks like a compass. It's more like a compass icon, okay. So when you click at this compass icon, it looks like it acts as some sort of a menu icon where you click and then you get a list of things. But to be honest, I never used this icon until now when I was analyzing the YouTube platform, and I didn't know what is it. To be honest, I really didn't have a clue. So when I click on it, I realize that there is a menu that comes from this side. Okay, something like this. Okay, undo. Okay, let me take this. So it comes just like this. So it's more of a menu of some sort, but I really didn't understand why they've used this icon. To me, this is a bad approach or a bad move, because I don't understand how does this relate to menu. A compass, it's something that helps you with some sort of to navigate the world. It points you to, it keeps you on the right track. So a list of items, a menu, maybe a list of items acts as an index, and then it will keep me on the right track. I really don't know, but to me this was a bad choice. Now back to the reason why I brought this picture. Okay, now we are going to talk about this part here. Okay, can I try to put this on a clean space where, okay, let me just move this a little bit. I want this to have its full space, so that I want this to have a full space so that we can, yes, something like this. I like this. Okay, number one, my problem with YouTube, I think it's more of ad driven than what it is for. That's obviously, that's my own opinion, and that's how I think. So the reason why I'm doing this user interface, I want to design a user interface that is search driven, not some sort of what can I say, I want to design a search first platform. Let me just quickly type that. I want a search first user interface and experience. I want a search first UI. That's what I'm trying to achieve here. That's a problem that I'm trying to solve. A search first, let me just say, type this. I want a search first user interface and experience. So this is what I'm trying to achieve here. So as you can see here, this is not a search first user interface. Why am I saying this is not a search first interface? Number one, the search button is not always there, it's not always visible. Hence, in my own user interface, I am going to keep the search bar always there, always visible. Because let's just dive deep into it. When you go to YouTube, what are you there for? To search a video, not to see a video, because this platform has been organized in such a way that you don't already know what's there. Maybe I can say it's different from Netflix, because let's say I'm not sure if that's the case, but I'm just giving you some sort of a different version of this platform. When you come here, you always come to search. It's very rare that you come to YouTube just to move around, to scroll on the YouTube platform, and you don't know what you want. Most cases you are searching for something, you will go and search for it. So this is supposed to be a search first user interface, of which this one is not a search first interface. It's more like a video first interface, more like I'm not sure, like TikTok, because TikTok, it's a video first user interface or platform, because in TikTok you don't really search much. As the way it has been designed, it nails the point, because when you get into a TikTok, you see a video and you have to scroll through the videos. If this was a user first application, then I was not going to have a problem with it. But now the way they've designed their user interface is more like a video first, whereas YouTube, it's not a video first, it's a search first. Hence the solution is to have a search input there that will always be there. And as you can see, in terms of the weight or the hierarchy, it's bigger than this logo and it's bigger than the channel logo. It's bigger, it must be big, it must be visible, because it's a search first. Now, because YouTube has been acquired by Google, and at some point they have to make money, understandably they have to make money, but it doesn't mean that they must be what can I say, a click driven, because this approach, it's more like it's big and bold and dominant in your face. So it's more like they are enticing you to click through it, so that when you are watching the video, then there might be some ads in the middle. So as you can see that this interface, it's more like it's ad, if there is such a word, ad centric. Somehow YouTube has to make money, and they are showing us in this user interface. You have to click into this thumbnail, so that when you get into watching this video, we have like 4 ads that we are going to put there. And also, as you can see, these are the ads. The other thing that I really didn't understand, or that I think I'm going to change, is that the ads and the videos, they look exactly the same. Why they look exactly the same? Because the YouTube platform wants you to think that there is no difference between this and that, so that you can click on this thinking that you are clicking on that. I hope you understand the this and that, but the this and that represents the actual video and the ad. There is no difference, because as you can see, this is a company and this is an advert. But here they are like given that there is no hierarchy. These two elements are competing for the same attention, of which obviously we know that they have to make money. So maybe they must favor what can I say, they must favor the ads as well, so that you can click through them. But what I'm trying to say, these are different elements, you know, so visually I'm supposed to see that. So that's what I'm going to solve here. And then the other point that I really didn't get here is that, okay, I think I've already mentioned that one, but it makes sense now that I have pulled this screen. The other thing that I didn't understand is that this part, obviously this one is not anchored, this part is anchored, it doesn't move. That means it stretches from left to right. But as you can see, even the videos, they stretch from left to right. To me, they don't give me a sense of I'm going to scroll through them. So those are the issues that I have with this existing interface. Number one is this top bar, it doesn't stay there, so it makes it some sort of an ad first or a video first approach, because if this was there, at least that search item will remain here, so that it can be easier for me to search than to see. Okay, and then obviously this, to me, doesn't work, the compass as a menu item. And then there is a lot of menu items here, design elements here, When we counted, I think we landed on 10 or 11. And then from then, the fact that these video card, they are like they are stretching from left to right, to me it's a problem, because they don't give me an idea of it's a scrollable view. It looks like these are end card. This looks like a graphic designed poster, and it's not meant to be. This doesn't feel like an app, something that can move or I can interact with. It's too flat for me. Okay, and also the hierarchy, like if you view it, okay, let me zoom. If you view it from top to bottom, you are not getting any visual distinction. It's not communicating to you as you are looking at it. So meaning that the layout and the design doesn't, just by looking at it, it doesn't, things are not different. It looks like a plain paper, like let's say a physical printed poster, whereas this is more of mobile or digital. So suppose it must give me an idea, the intent of an element. If this is a video card and if this is a view, and it's a scrollable view, at some point it must communicate the intent. This doesn't communicate that intent. You cannot tell if this is a view or it's not a view, because it stretches from edge to edge. To me, that's bad. And then coming here, obviously this one, it's a user interface for somebody who has logged in as a creator, not somebody who is incognito mode. Let's pull up a screen for incognito mode, meaning that for somebody who's just visiting the platform, they are not signed in, they are not registered user. As you can see here, they are not registered user. Then let's count the number of icons that are here. We've got home, which home will bring this top bar just only for searching, because I am not logged in, so I can't use, let's say, other features. Okay, I'm not logged in. Okay, so in terms of the notifications, if I'm not logged in, I don't think I can receive notification as incognito mode. So if I click this home, I only see this only for searching as somebody who's not logged in, because I don't have my own account where I can click here and do my own things. Also casting to a device, which is you click here, so that I think this feature is sharing the screen, so that you can play what is playing here on the TV. Even the person who's not registered can need this feature. So the point is, if I'm on incognito mode, I'm only here to search. I'm not a creator, I don't have an account. Some of the buttons are not supposed to be here. For instance, on incognito mode, I don't have a library of videos that I've downloaded before, because it's incognito mode. So that means this button is not supposed to be here. Subscriptions, if I'm on incognito mode, that means I don't have an account already, so I don't have the subscription. This is just some sort of visual clutter. These icons are not supposed to be here. So there is a lot of things that needs to be cut out here. And just as a bonus, I believe YouTube Shorts were just only here. They were just introduced just for the sake of TikTok. It's more like a watered down version of TikTok. To me, at the moment, I've been thinking about them. What's the use of the YouTube Shorts? What's the use? Because what can I say? There is a platform, TikTok, that specializes in that. But now, in terms of YouTube Shorts, really, to be honest, I didn't get it. But however, I do understand that I'm not part of that big team, and maybe there are some things that I might not have seen. But to me, it looks like they were just trying to compete with TikTok, whereas TikTok is not trying to compete with YouTube. Okay, so if I was I'm not sure, the product manager or the leader in YouTube, I was just going to remove YouTube Shorts. They are making the system complicated. I really, maybe I don't like them. Let me just be honest. Okay, because it feels like copying someone, and then in doing so, bringing some sort of a clutter in your own system, and I'm going to show you some sort of a solution to that, what they can do instead of YouTube Shorts. Okay, so I think that's about it for now. Then other things I will talk about them as time goes by. Now let's just get into the solution. Okay, so in terms of the solution, I came up with this a search first interface, if there is such a word in the English language. Search first, meaning that YouTube is more like Google. Hence I think the acquisition made sense. It made a perfect sense. It was a great move for Google to buy YouTube, because on YouTube you search for videos, so it's a search first. So now I'm going to draw some sort of a wireframe at the same time, a very rough wireframe. Okay, in this design we are having a search button. In this design we are having a search button that is a little bit bigger and bolder in your face. And then in this design we've got we've got a YouTube logo. We've got a YouTube logo, and the YouTube logo is smaller than the search button. The YouTube logo is smaller than the search button. Okay, to make it 60. The YouTube logo is smaller than the search button. It's just here, and it's not as big as the button. It's not as big as the button. And also the other thing, I predict that YouTube in 10 years from now, which is now it's 2023, that means in 2033 YouTube will rebrand, and the best way in which they will rebrand, or how they are going to do it, they will just remove this name. They will just remove the name YouTube, because YouTube is already a recognized brand. So this icon represents YouTube. It means YouTube to the world and to everyone. There is no, as time goes by, there will be less of a need to put this here, and at the same time it's taking too much space, of which something can be done with that space. So I predict that YouTube will rebrand in 10 years to come, and they are not going to come up with a different logo and whatever. They are just going to some sort of remove this name, and they will stick to only that icon, and that will be it. Hence I decided also to do that before they do it. So knowing very well that this is the way to go, looking at design trends, minimalistic and simplicity, I think that's where we are going. That's a prophecy. Okay, so this is the logo, and then we have the avatar there for the YouTube channel, for the creator logo, somebody who's logged in as a creator, or somebody who has got a YouTube account. Okay, so as you can see, this is my layout. The reason why this is big, because it must scream to you search. So whenever you want to search, it must be easier for you to come here and search, and this search bar will always stay here. It's not going to move. It will always be here. Okay, now let's count the number of icon. When we were counting before the number of icon in this layout, I think we landed at almost like 10 or more than 10 in that top bar. Let's just count again. 1, this is a design element, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now as compared to this layout, it's only 1 2 3, and the intent is there, search. Okay, and then now coming here, as you can see here, you cannot establish some sort of a hierarchy. As I was saying, that this layout, it's not clean. So if we are talking of something that is scrollable, this layout, this card view of the videos, Where are the videos? Let me just check here. Let me zoom into a screen that has the videos. You see this video, it stretches from this edge to this edge, but however my own video card doesn't do that. As you can see, it's more like a rectangle with round corners. So let me just duplicate this and put it here, and then obviously type 70. Okay, so this is how my video card looks, as you can see, from here to here. Also in this video, I'm hoping that I'm giving you some, so you are also learning a thing or two about the importance of layout. Layout is very, very, very important. Don't overlook it. It's very important. So as you can see, this is how my own video card looks. So why this video card looks like this? Okay, it's because I'm trying to tell you visually that this part feels like it's part of the whole frame. It feels like it's part of the whole device, because as you can see, it's attached to it. Okay, let me just quickly show you that. As you can see, it's attached to it. Okay, just one thing. Okay, are we still live? Yes, we are live. Okay, we're recording. So as you can see that this, it's part of the frame, the mobile phone frame. Okay, and this top bar, it's part of it, because it stretches from this part to this part. Okay, and also if you look at, there are some icons here which are Android icons, maybe for Wi-Fi and time and whatever. This feels like it's part of that, and I like that, because I want you to feel like this doesn't move, it's static, so that when you scroll up, when you push these things, you feel like this is not part, it's not attached to the edge, it's not anchored, it can move. And this is different from this. You see the difference? Okay, now let's go to point number 2. Then this layout, the current YouTube layout, doesn't make use of some sort of enough call to action. It doesn't trigger you to, now that you are done searching, now you have found what you are looking for. Now here with this layout, I'm trying to reinforce or to push interactivity. Hence, in this layout, you can see that this is some sort of the avatar for this channel, for this video, something like this one. It's here, and also I've got some icons here. Here are the icons, and this is a video description, and these are the details of the video. Okay, so these are the details of video. This video has got 130k a month ago. So and then you can see this is the video card. This is my video card. Why my video card has been laid out like this? Number one, I wanted the video card to be a self-contained element, meaning that it must be a video card on its own. Let me just duplicate this. Let me just duplicate this. Okay, duplicate this. Here I want you to see the importance of a layout. A layout is very, very important, even though here I have just drawn the layout by hand. I decided to draw the layout by hand, but however, this one is more like a digital frame, wireframe. Okay, so I wanted this video card to be a self-contained card, meaning that you must know where it starts and where it ends. Everything that relates to this video card like it's within this container. So it's easier for you to see that this, let's say the background is a little bit grayish, let's say, or it has a slightly different color, or even if the color is the same, it's white and the container is white, but you know that this is an element, this is a graphic element, because it's some sort of a self-contained element. Let's just check on how YouTube has achieved this. You see, this is a picture, like a poster that you might see, a printed poster, physical poster, and this information doesn't feel like it's describing this poster. When I'm using YouTube, I always think that this describes this. You cannot tell from, even though this is a little bit closer to here, I do understand that, but sometimes I get it wrong, or it gets to me sometimes to feel like, oh, okay, this one is this one and this one is this one. So to avoid that confusion, if this can be changed to be like this, so that you can visually see that this is an element on its own. It's not like these are three elements, which is this one, the thumbnail, and the description, and the menu. Okay, here I think I forgot the menu. In terms of when I was drawing it with the lead pencil, it was there, but when I was erasing it, erasing the lead pencil to only leave the red ink, then I think I've erased my own menu. Okay, so as you can see, this small menu icon, these dots, they are not part of this, whereas this and this is the same thing. So how can we make sure that we create a distinction between this part and the advert? This is how you are going to do that, and these icons are making sure that you are interacting with this video. By just looking at it, I'm giving you the information, and I'm telling you that you can cast. Where is that icon for casting to a device? I don't know where it is here, but I think for somebody who's not logged in yet, they will want to share the screen. And also, I'm telling you here, even though you are not logged in, you can download, and also you can share. Why am I putting a download button here, whereas if you are not logged in, you are not able to download? The reason is, this is where I'm sort of like pushing YouTube's agenda, because the intent, now that you've found what you want, now you must become a member. So I'm putting some buttons here that might in the end ask you to log in first. For instance, if you want to download, it will tell you, in order for you to download and have your own library, you must log in. So it's more like I'm pushing my own agenda here, but the idea behind this icon, it's interactivity. I'm pushing you to interact. So guys, that will be it for this video. Obviously now I'm going to be disturbed, there will be some sort of a lot of noise. I'm going to quickly end it here. In the next video, we're just going to get into the user design of it. Otherwise, for me, Matthew Msingati, thank you so much for visiting my channel. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can be notified when I'm releasing the next video. Stick with me, I'll make you famous, I'll take you places to see different faces. Thank you so much.